just say yes. I'm like, yay, it's all about Nick tonight. I'm gonna just sit here and be very well, I'm not gonna be quiet. Shut up.
Really,
I saw
honey?
the eyes. I saw the
Really?
eyes. I saw
You're
the
gonna be
eyes.
quiet?
Saw the eyes.
Really? Is that really ever gonna happen?
I'll try.
Okay, so we're live now. Hi, everybody. I'm Nick,
I'm Jean-Luc.
and this is a Sunday chat with Jean-Luc and Nick. We're wearing some of our shirts.
Yeah.
We,
Eight more.
8 more. We love this one. It's one of our favorites.
Eight more.
Um, we love.
Eight more anything except for like chocolate chip cookies. You should never do eight more
Well,
chip cookies. You can. I'm not saying
sometimes.
I'm not saying you should never do it. Just not often.
Yeah, not all the time.
Not
It's
all
not an
the time.
everyday thing. My husband just said yes. Also, been glamping in their RV while people have been busy. This is
Yeah,
great.
it's been really, everybody's been busy. I love seeing that there's 30 of you here live in Zoom with us. So those of you who are out there in Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you can join into our Zoom room and come in live. And then afterwards, because after we go live, we end up chit-chatting with these people for a bit if there's questions.
And what else do they get?
And they also get a secret word that allows them to be put into the draw for our summer contest, which we are having, which is going to be like a few goodie baskets of some of Nick and our favorite things that we enjoy, things that we use. Maybe a T-shirt. Or maybe a coupon to a T-shirt.
Yeah, because
that way you can buy your own
size.
I don't want to be like, here, it's one size fits all.
Yeah,
that's not fair, right?
Not fair. Come on, Saxiba. Yeah, come back and lie down. Go take go on camera now. Get in your spot. You know.
Like, I'm late. I'm late.
So okay. So first we'll talk about
our weekend.
Yeah. So let's dive into it. So on last week, so first of all, Caicos, his so we brought him to the vet last week, got checked. He's been having drops. Lynn's been continuing to drop while we were away, and he's still
doesn't like the drops.
He doesn't like the drops. He's a little angry at us because he doesn't want to have the drops, so he kind of doesn't like us right now a little bit. But we're taking care of him. He's gonna be fine. But thank you everyone for all the well wishes, and he's sleeping. He's sitting over there right now.
Sitting over there right now, but he's good. So this weekend we actually we drove to Windsor. We went and saw my mom in Windsor and my sister. It was a quick visit. This is what's happening right now. It's like we've got so many things going on, but it's kind of fun to just go away and go somewhere that's familiar, which is always nice, right? So we went so while we were driving, this is a very important story.
Yes, we'll come back to this later. Why?
So listen to this. As we were driving, as you drive into Windsor, for those of you who might not know, they have a lot of those immense windmills. Those, the power and the energy creating windmills, the big white ones. And I myself personally, I find them amazing. I get mesmerized by just watching.
It's like almost like you get hypnotized.
I think it's such a cool thing to see. And that's my personal thing. So as we're driving, I turned to Nick and I'm like, wouldn't it be really cool to like stand beside one day? Like it would be so cool. I'm like, the opportunity of that happening is
never gonna happen.
That'll never happen. It's not something that could happen, right? I don't know anyone who actually would have one on their lot. So that was basically it. So the conversation ended. We got to Windsor a little later than usual because there was some traffic. There was an accident on the 401, so hopefully whoever was involved was okay. But
one of my most favorite part to drive.
Part of the highway to drive to.
Yeah.
Yes. His favorite part of the highway. But we made it to Windsor around 8:30. We spent the weather in Windsor was gorgeous this weekend. It was
hot.
It was hot, but the evenings were cool enough to be able to sit outside, which was really, really nice. So on Friday night, we just sat on the balcony with my mom, and then we came in and just talked till around midnight. And then on Saturday morning, we went for the walk. We went downtown to the Riverside and did a walk. Mary Ann, and then Lisa and Rob came and joined us. I know I did that.
We had a whole discussion on the walk about Jean-Luc and Nick because there's Anna Marie, and Marianne.
And I mixed them.
He mixes them all up.
It never fails.
It never fails.
It never fails.
Yeah.
I always say the wrong one when the one shows up, and I always. That's who I am. I apologize, but I love you all. So we went for the walk. That was really fun. We actually saw the new bridge. For those of you who don't know, in Windsor, there's a new bridge that's almost
big.
complete, which is insane. I was born and raised in Windsor, and the Ambassador Bridge has been a staple in Windsor for years.
Apparently, it used to be black.
And it's now, it's been
Found that out.
painted about over 20 years ago, blue, sky blue, but now it used to be black. But in the right behind it, you see this huge, massive bridge. Like it's really weird to see that, especially being from Windsor. I guess if you live there and you see it being constructed, it's a little bit different. So after the walk, what did we do? Oh, we went to a store called Motions with my mom because my mom's
Farmers market.
no. Oh yeah, we did the farmers market first. You are correct. I apologize. We went to the farmers market downtown where Joyce's son actually, we got to see him. We saw Brandon. Of course, we just stood there and watched for a little bit because he's so cute.
Yeah.
Nice guy though. He's so cute. He's just so cute.
I remember we were with this weekend. We always shocked. You guys just like point him out all the time. Like,
Because
we're two guys. We both like the same thing. So when there's a nice looking man,
we're not going to say no.
I have to be kind to my husband and show him the same gratitude that I'm getting. So the same appreciation, right?
So, what was really cool, actually, you want to go grab them? Because I want to show them
What?
the two bottles.
Oh, yes.
I just thought of that right now. So as we were walking down, there's a brewery. I don't even know if that's what you would
Distillery.
call it. A distillery. That's a better word for it. Thank you. A distillery.
It says it on the bottle.
That's where we were walking down this Wolfhead Distillery, which is on Howard Avenue. They had all sorts of different they had flavored gin, which we were with Lisa, who's on with us, and she had just bought their strawberry flavored gin online, and she's like, why didn't I wait? I could have got it here right away. But she's like, it's okay, it's being mailed. But I have a grapefruit or pamplemousse.
Pamplemousse. If you want to make it fancy.
A pamplemousse.
Grapefruit, but if you want to make it fancy, you call it pamplemousse.
And then there was an apple caramel whiskey, and it was really good. I'm not gonna lie, they had samples. It was 10 a.m. and they were big samples, but when you haven't, I was like, wow, I feel really good at 10 a.m. this morning. It was very warm. It was very warm.
So after we walked the farmer's market, we also bought a frame.
Oh my God, I have to go get it. It is the cutest.
Which
it's adorable.
I did not approve of this purchase, everybody. He brought it behind my back without me knowing. I was not around when it happened.
Oh, we have to send Lisa. She paid for it, actually.
Yes.
So we have to send Lisa. I had no cash on me. I just thought of that right now. I was like, oh my God, thank you for reminding me.
So it's not ours yet.
It's not ours yet. Oh my God. So it's technically Lisa's. It doesn't apply to them, though. So it's cute. I'm not going to lie. It's a little, you remember the cat stones that my friend had made us years and years and years ago? This lady in Windsor had a collection of all sorts of different framed stones. And I thought this was the most appropriate for Nick and I. They're stoners made of stone. It was so cute and it was well done. And I'm not going to lie, the first one was only one guy. And I turned and I think it was to Lisa or whoever's behind me. It might have been Marianne. I said, oh, too bad there wasn't two. Marianne wasn't there. So it had to be Lisa or Rob. I'm like, too bad there wasn't two. The owner of the company's husband came up to me and he's like, here you go. And then he's like, I totally agree. He's like, yeah. It's so cute. So I couldn't resist. I had to buy it for them. Why not? Support local artists, right?
So after that, we went back to your mom's and then we went to Motions.
Yeah, we went to Motions after. Mom's looking for a small, light walker so she could put it in her car. So if she wants to go to the mall and doesn't feel. So I'm like, yeah, why not? So we went there. I think you're going to buy one on Amazon.
We found one.
We found one that's even lighter than the ones over there. So
yeah,
she doesn't need a big one. So
and then after that, we went to dinner with your sister and brother-in-law, Mayor and Chantal.
We went to Legends in the casino. We had some chicken wings and
they bought us dinner.
They bought us dinner. So thank you again to both of them for taking us out for dinner. Had a few cocktails at dinner. Yeah, well, I did heat it. I had one.
I was with DD. At that point,
in the evening. Yes.
And then we went back to Jean-Luc's mom's, dropped her off, and then
while we were at the walk and at the farmer's market, our friend from Rustic Mama who lives in Windsor, she works for Rustic Mama. Her name's Marlo. Why? Because the name not coming to me. Marlo came and met us. And she had mentioned, and even Joyce, because we had talked to Joyce earlier, that the Carousel of Nations were happening in Windsor. Yeah, shut up. You're so terrible. So Joyce had mentioned to us earlier, and look at who's coming in, Anna Marie. Anna Marie is joining us right now. So we were planning on going to the Carousel of Nations, and I had not realized that the Carousel of Nations in Windsor has been going on for like
49
years.
Yeah.
They've been doing this. And so what they do is
it was really cool. I won't lie. Like for someone who's never done it, it was really cool that I was able to actually experience it and actually do it.
So in different parts of the city, they have either a mess hall with a patio or they block off a full part of the street. And they create like a little Mexico and they create like a little Italy and they have artists and singers and food trucks. And so we did 3 of them, right?
Yeah. We did the Mexican first. Then we did Bavarian, and then we did Italian.
We ended at the Italian. Although it's funny because we walked the Italian.
We ended at an Asian fusion restaurant.
And then we ended up at an Asian fusion restaurant. I know isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But it was delicious. And they have some in Toronto.
Yeah. So we had like dumplings, we had spring rolls, and we shared like we each got 2 appetizers each. We got 2, they got 2, and then we all just shared everything together. It was really cool. And it was pretty late. It was 1 a.m. by the time I went to bed. So
it was late.
Tonight after this, bedtime, sleepy time. We're both
we're so proud that we did not cancel. We were like, no, we're not doing that. We're not canceling. We're getting up for step tomorrow morning as well. We absolutely have to.
So this morning.
Yeah, we woke up this morning, had breakfast with my mom. We always end up having breakfast. And then we went and saw my dad at Eiler. Short visit, but it was, at least I got to see him. It's not always easy, but he's still my dad and I love him to pieces. So I'm glad I was glad it was a visit. Oh, we forgot to go to Elaine's. But we didn't forget. We actually went to Elaine's Farmers.
You forgot to say it. I'm highlighting the notes that are right in front of you that you're not reading.
So we went. Thank you so much. I love him.
I was like, it's right there. And I was like highlighting. I was going like this, like back and forth.
Before going to Eiler, we did go to Elaine's. We went we went to get some green beans, strawberries.
Yellow bean. And what was crazy? Okay, so we're sitting there, like we showed up, and it was like it's early in the season, so they don't have an abundance of vegetables yet. They just have a small selection. So we walk up, like, oh, they have green beans. Okay, we'll get those. Oh, they have. We also got the snap peas. Snap peas.
Yeah.
Got snap peas. We also got what else did we get?
I can't remember. There's no, that was my mom.
That was it. That was it.
The only good thing.
So we got that, and as we were standing there paying about to pay, the guy drives in. Oh, strawberries too. The guy drives in. He had a box of freshly picked yellow beans. We had just picked them. Oh my god, we just had them for dinner.
They were delicious. They were amazing.
They are one of our favorite vegetables, and when you get it fresh like that, they are so good. It was like a dream tonight to have them. We have a whole bunch left for the whole week, so we're excited. It's gonna be beans week.
I also love going to Elaine's because she's so sweet. She remembers my mom. She remembers.
Not even named Elaine.
No, because that's her mother-in-law.
Yeah.
It was owned by her in-laws originally. So, but every time we see her post on Facebook, we always comment or say something. She's like, "I can't wait to see you boys." So she's such a sweetheart, and we took a picture with her today. So this is the funny part. After we saw my dad, what story did I tell you guys about Friday? The story about the windmills, right? So I get a message from a lovely friend who a lot of you guys know, Angel Tresky.
She does step with us.
She does step with us, and she's been part of the community since the pandemic. The beginning of the pandemic, and I actually went to school with her. Her and I went to the same elementary school. She's a few years older than I am, and then she has another older sister that went to school with my sister. So I've always remembered her. Her mom was one of my Boy Scout leaders. Oh, and I forgot to say, someone remembered me when we threw the walk too. I got recognized.
From yes.
A girl that I used to work with at Pizza Hut recognized me as we were walking on Riverside Drive, going, Jean Paul, and I'm like, well, it's Jean-Luc, but close enough. So after we're leaving my dad's the nursing home, Aja sent us a message and she's like, do you mind stopping by to my house on your way back? Because on your way out, I live 5 minutes from the 401 and I have a gift for you. And we're like, why not? So we drove up to her house. We get to her house. She has a beautiful house, lives on a huge property. Her husband does a lot of woodworking, right? And so we come into the house and it's gorgeous. He built the house from top to bottom. And then she gave us this. This was the sign she gave us. It says, "Welcome to our home. Please leave by 9 p.m." And
because I want to go to bed at that.
Such a cute sign. So she gives us this, which we loved.
And then she says, "You guys want to go on a ride?"
Yeah, she goes, "You want to go on a ride? You want to go?"
We're like, okay, sure.
Sure, why not? Go for a ride. So we jump on. She's like, "I want to show you guys something really, really cool." Like
So she goes next door.
So we jump on this ATV like machine. I'll show you this real quick. You might not be able to see it, but
she'll post it later.
I'll post it later. But we're like driving along.
Back up a bit more.
Yeah, back up.
So can everybody keep going? Keep going.
Yeah.
Go down a bit.
Down. Okay, so we're driving. So this is number one. Okay. What did I tell you guys about Friday? What did I say? I wanted to be near on Friday.
And she randomly, without us telling her this,
to her,
she drove us to one of the windmill things that we were talking about on Friday, saying, "Would it be nice one?" You know what I did when we got back in the car? I literally said, "Can we please win $1 million?" And we had a lotto ticket waiting in a dash. We're like, "Oh, please, come on, let us work it again." It didn't work for that time.
What are the odds that we got to do something that, like, I'm sitting there going, I wanted to do this on Friday. How is it happening Sunday?
Yeah.
How is that happening?
Without us asking for it or planning it out.
But it's funny that, you know what it shows you? The power of positivity. And that's exactly what I want to talk about right here. And I know it's not our topic tonight, but when you put good things out in the universe, it comes back to you somehow. You know what I mean? So put as much goodness out there, because you end up like I'm still going, are you flipping? It's been blowing my mind all day that this actually happened. So, and it is huge. Like, look at this. Look at how tiny we are. Like, it's insane.
It doesn't look, it looks pretty much, it looked big up close. I will say, like,
no. And then we came home full of mud because Angèle decided to bring us into the forest, or the bush, as you like to call it. And we got stuck in some mud, and I was wearing flip-flops, and so was Nick. And I'm like, don't make me push, please. Don't make me push. But we got out. But as she got out onto the gravel or onto the road, it totally backsplashed. And I was full of mud head to toe. Like, my face was full. My shirt was full. But it made for a lovely drive home. It was actually, it put an extra, like, it was the whipped cream of the weekend.
Whipped cream.
Like, it added just such a cool
final touch. The final touch.
We had such a fun weekend.
Yeah.
And it added such a cool little thing to end the weekend.
So that was the weekend. We just want to remind you guys about our next event that we're doing is on July 14th. We will be doing a walk in Toronto at Moccasin Trail Park. So if you can join us, please register on our website. We're also going to be back in Windsor in August 17th.
Yes, weekend.
That weekend. And so we are trying right now to possibly plan a nighttime event there where we will go to
it's right there.
The distillery, this place.
We're going to go
the Wolfhead Distillery.
Why not?
And go there and spend time there. So for people in Windsor who are watching this right now, if you are interested in doing this with us, send us an email now, even before we put up the information in RSVP. Send us an email so we can know if people are interested. It is August 17th weekend, so it would be the Saturday night we'd want to do this. And so just let us know if you're interested, and then we'll be doing that in Windsor at that when we go there in August.
Yeah, it would be the Saturday, August 17th. Exactly.
Yeah. So now leading to the discussion at evening. So we had someone ask, how do we plan our trips? You know, how do we figure out where we want to go? How do I figure out, you know, our East Coast trip, our driving trip we did last year? How do I find stuff when I want to do glamping? So we thought tonight we would talk about, you know, the process that we go through when we want to plan trips. So first of all, you have to understand what your goal is, okay? So you have to know if you're going on a trip with certain persons, you have to understand on the trip, you can't do stuff that only you enjoy. You have to do stuff that both people enjoy. So I always go in first thinking about the fact that I can't pick something that I know I will only love because he will hate it. And that will not be fun. So I have to find things that both of us will enjoy. And so you have to look, okay, what are the things that as a couple or as a group of friends, what is it you enjoy the most? Okay, well, if all of you, we love spas. Okay, spas is on the list. We love nature. We love hiking. Okay, that's another thing on the list. We love museums. Okay, that's another thing on the list. So you then identify what everybody enjoys at the beginning of the planning so that you're not finding things like if someone on your group will say, I don't want to go to a zoo or a theme park, say that one person thinks that, but you're all creating these lists and everybody's putting this in it or looking up theme parks they can go to, and then they all get together like, oh, I can't go to theme parks, and that person feels like, oh my god, I worked all this time figuring out this place to go and we can't even go there. So first off, isolate, and again I'm talking about efficiencies here, isolate where the people on the trip want to go. So Jean-Luc and I, when I do this, I know that Jean-Luc and I love nature stuff. We love waterfalls. We love going on walks, on hikes. We love beaches. We love lighthouses. We love he loves going out like gay bars. He loves karaoke.
Like
he loves
nightlife.
He loves nightlife. He loves shows. He loves musicals. So when we plan these trips, we look for things that we both would enjoy. I would love to go sometimes to museums for sometimes, but he does not like it.
No, he doesn't.
For some of them, I would probably go.
Well, then ask me.
No, I won't ask you. No, I just
see. Look at that.
I won't ask you.
I will also say, make sure you ask people if they're interested or not, because you never know. Maybe it's something they want to do.
Have you ever been unhappy in the trips you've done so far? Okay. So this right now, I'm just talking about the driving trip. So first, isolate where you want to go. Then isolate the time frame you want to do this in. So the next time is figuring out, okay, what time of year you want to do this? Summer, winter, fall, spring, right? You have to figure out when you're doing this so that then you can cater the activities to that time of year. Don't go looking for an entire year's worth of things when you're not going to go into winter. You can't think you're going to go skiing if skiing is not happening at that time of year. So isolate the time of year and a date, and then start figuring out things you can do. So for our driving trip, what I did is I plotted myself a route that I wanted to drive. So for the East Coast, I knew I wanted to start and end somewhere on the East Coast, either in Halifax or PEI or vice versa, or even New Brunswick. I wanted to end up in any of those places where I can fly home. And one of the things that we also do is we actually rented a car to do our vacations. And people are like, wow, that's expensive. It is, but we don't have the time to drive there and back. We don't have the luxury of having enough. We don't have enough vacation time with all the stuff we do. We're very limited into how much vacation time we have. So for us, having to drive there and back was not a time that was so buying or paying for a rental vehicle was worth getting those extra days back from our vacation because we could do other things.
We added it to our vacation by being able to do that. And again, we consider ourselves extremely lucky that we have the means to do that as well.
So for the East Coast trip, what I did is I literally said, you go to Google. You go to Google and you say, top 20, and you just start writing top 20 natural places to visit in the East Coast, best places to visit in PEI, best places to visit in Nova Scotia, and just start looking at the list of things that show up.
And a good thing to look at too is other people's personal blogs. People that have actually
I use a lot of blogs. Yeah.
Because you know what? You're going to go to a website and you're going to see the beautiful, come see me, come see me, come see me. But then until you actually hear what someone says about them, that they've actually experienced it, you get a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more authentic is the word. That is exactly what I'm looking for.
So once you figure out all the places you want to go, you start figuring out, okay, on a map, and this is where you start using Google Maps. And that's how I figure it out. You start taking out Google Maps, and then from that, you start laying out the locations on this map. So Google Maps allows you to do 9 different locations on a map. So what you do is you say, okay, your first one, okay, I want to start in PEI. So let's say I want to start in PEI. So the main city I can fly in PEI, Charlottetown. Okay, so we start our tour in Charlottetown. Okay, what can we do in PEI? So I would then look at PEI and plot out all the places, okay? And I think, okay, these ones seem to be close to each other. So, okay, these ones I'll put together up here. Oh, these ones are close to each other up here. Okay, I'll put them. So then I start separating all the different places you can visit based on where they are on the island. And then I put them back in order on Google Maps to see the full route. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm like, it feels like we're talking.
And then I do the full route. And then what I do is I list out along the whole way all the possible things we can do. Doesn't mean we do everything on that list.
And I'll say this is one thing that I do really enjoy. And I'm letting Nick do all the talking because I don't do anything when it comes to organizing our trips. I just show up. And then when I'm there, I might put my 2 cents in, but I usually follow along because I enjoy what he picks. So it's never an issue, right? he knows what I like. But I love the fact that he puts on so many things on the list, and there are certain things that are maybe staples that we know for sure we got a ticket for it, we're doing it. While there are other things that we're like, we drive by and we're like, let's go look and see if it's something that we really want to do, or can we skip it and move forward?
And there's a lot of things that you miss, but that sometimes it's just off, like a 5 minutes off of where you're driving. If you're driving just by that area and you didn't know about it because you didn't look it up, you would miss that specific spot, and you actually miss something that one day, like, oh, I didn't know I did that. It was so close. You know how many times you go somewhere, you're like, oh my God, I was right there and I didn't go see that. So this is where we try to avoid that by doing these kinds of situations, trying to get the most out of all the locations we do. So I'm actually going to share with you guys our itinerary from last year's trip, because this is how I work on all this. Because I was saying I write things down, right? I use a lot of lists. So I actually created a Google Doc for our trip. So what that means is that our entire trip, I started planning on here from the beginning, having all the ideas of where I wanted to go. I actually at one point had 3 different ways to get there and home.
So for those of you in TikTok and Instagram, if you'd like to see the sheet, go to Facebook and look at
YouTube.
YouTube,
Yeah,
and you can see the actual sheet because he's sharing it.
Yeah. So what I did is on here, I had 3 different ways I could drive. I could start in Halifax and end in PEI, PEI to Halifax, or something weird, go this way and end up in New Brunswick. So I figured out all these different ways, and I was like, okay, which one's going to be the most in the car? The most driving. Okay, that's the one I eliminate first because I don't want to be in the car the most. So then I start figuring out which ones are the shortest driving distance for you to get the most things out of your buck. Because again, you don't want to be driving the whole time or driving back and forth or doing things that are wasting your time, because I literally don't want to be backtracking on my steps. I don't want to do something and I realize I want to go back to the same area. I want to hit both places at the same time. So what I do is I start creating. So all our trips, I create basically an itinerary tracker where I put everything in this document for my entire trip. And so this was for our East Coast. So this was exactly our East Coast trip. So you can see I have here, the date that we were leaving, where we're starting, where we're ending. I actually store all the emails I get we're very busy. I can't on a trip be looking for my confirmation number from my email I got 2 months ago because I can't figure out I literally put everything in Google Drive, and then I put the link right in this document. So when I get to the hotel, if I need to find anything, it's right here already. I don't have to search in my email. It's already set up for me. I do the same thing for our flight information, even our car rental. I actually had the invoice, like the reservation. It's gone now because we don't have that trip anymore, but because I deleted it. But it would have been there before. And then I even have a map of where we start and where we end. And I even have the Google Map link saved of this, so I can go back and look at it again.
And I know this sounds funny, but what's really cool is when you do this, a lot of these maps, because they've been pre-generated, sometimes you actually get to use them again. Like they're live maps, even though if you don't have internet, they'll still give you the travel if you actually start the GPS to it.
And so what I would do, like I said, is on Google Maps, I would start pointing out all the places we wanted to stop. And what I would do is I would find, okay, these ones are right beside each other. So, okay, we'll do that one first, that one second. Okay, that one's over here. We'll do that one third. And so I had plotted out a whole drive, okay? And then these were all the stops we were going to make, all the locations we were going to visit along the way. And this was day 2. We were going to drive the western side. But what happened when we flew out that day? When we flew out to the East Coast, the hurricane was coming in. And so it kind of stopped our plans. We couldn't drive out and do the exact plan. So I actually took my plans and edited them out. What we did is day 1, we actually did this part of the island. Day 2, we did this part and then went straight to New Brunswick. We actually skipped out on this whole other day. So because I had all this laid out, I already knew where else I could go because my plans had changed. I already had a contingency plan. Again, I don't want to waste time because I'm trying to get the most that I can out of these 7 days. This was a 7-day trip. We're trying the most we could get out of that 7 days, and we did. So then I have everything here from the entire trip. Like we did so many things that trip. Like we were
really fun about it, guys, is the organization behind it. It's knowing that you have something documented somewhere where you're like, oh, I know when you put things out there. And like I said, all of those places that we were going to see, we didn't see them all. Not every single place. But the fact that there was many of them, it gave us the option to either go to it or not go to it. And that's what I enjoyed.
And we have so many good experiences with some of the things we've done that were just random things that we weren't planning on doing that we just like added to our list. Like
I still had fun on that trip, and I was in excruciating pain for almost 5 days with a
swollen tonsil.
Swollen tonsil, and I love that trip, even though I was dying. It was still one of the best trips I've done in a long time.
So even our West Coast trip that we're doing this summer and our Las Vegas trip we're doing in July, we already have. They have a Google document for them. Everything's laid out. All the information is on there. I have it shared with my mom and Lynn, who are coming with us to the West Coast. So they see the itinerary. They know where we're going. And so that's how I plan my vacations. Another thing that we do that I didn't talk about is we look up restaurants before we go to the places we're going. Mm-hmm. Why? How many times has this happened to you? Oh, you ready for dinner? Oh, yeah, where do you want to go? I don't know. I don't know what I feel like. You want to just walk around and find a thing? So you waste 3 hours trying to find a place to eat and you end up at McDonald's or Harvey's because we do not do that. We look up restaurants in the towns we're going before we go, have a list ready so that when we get there, if we want to eat and we don't want to look for something, we already have a spot available, but we don't have to go there. So same thing on our East Coast trip, we had listed a whole bunch of restaurants, but a lot of times when we got to Gutenberg, we can go to a restaurant, we went to Subway. We had no time. We literally...
nothing was open.
Nothing was open. We went to Subway and that's what we had for dinner because that's what we could fit it on that day. So we still have flexibility, but it's to avoid the time wasting. That's what we're trying to tell you guys about. It's find ways to make sure that you're utilizing your vacation the most you have because you don't have many vacations to enjoy.
And the thing is you're organizing it ahead of time. That way you're maximizing all the fun time. Yeah. And I will say this, we schedule our vacations tight. We do a lot in a lot of days because that's who we are. But if you are someone that wants to take a day off in between, don't forget to schedule that time on there already. Saying this is my
have those in Vegas.
We do. We have
in Vegas. We have days off.
But there's certain things that we don't. When we're on a vacation because it's really not a vacation. It's an actual touristy type event. There's a difference between that, and I think you have to identify what you want to do for that vacation, right? Is it a rest relaxation, as Nick was saying earlier? Or is it like, I want to go see things that I've never, and I want to create experiences. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little chat this evening. I hope you got distracted.
Yes, I got distracted. Sorry. So that's the one type of trips that we plan. So the driving trips. So now the other type of trips are to plan for all-inclusive vacations. So when we used to plan those back in the day, because now we tend to do more as group vacations. So for those, we deal with a travel agent now because it's just easier with all the people coming. We can't handle, we're not travel agents. So we work with our travel agent, Claudia. She's the one helping us for our Costa Rica trip in January. We don't deal with that on our own. But when we traveled ourselves, the way I would do it is I would use a site called Trip Central a lot. Because it allows you to isolate different things. It's a very good site to isolate prices. We also, because we travel a lot, we have a TD travel rewards card. So one of the things that we talked about when we were doing our finances sessions is that Jean-Luc and I have a credit card we use all the time, but we pay off a balance all the time. That's how we, because we travel so much, we use the points.
We rather use our credit card where we accumulate free money to use back on trips. So if you have that opportunity, it's great. Any type of point system, airplane,
hotel points. Yeah. We went on the whole vacation on points back in the day.
If you have not been doing it, start doing it. I know it sounds silly, just start doing it. It's worth it. They do accumulate and you do end up benefiting from it, right?
Another tip for all-inclusives is look during Black Friday or look if you're sure that you want to travel and you do not care exactly where you're going, book yourself a week off that you want to leave and then look for a last-minute deal. So many people we've seen done that. We've never been able to do that because we have to plan ahead. our lives are that we thought maybe this year we go at Christmas time, but we don't have the time off anymore because we're going to Vegas now. So we don't have any more vacation time. So because of that, we're not traveling at Christmas this year.
Which is pretty cool because I'm getting my mom to come here for Christmas.
Yes, so we're gonna be with the kiddies for Christmas for the first time in a
My
few
mom and
years.
my aunt are coming for Christmas.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun Christmas. Yeah. So for all inclusives, that's a few of the tricks and tips that we have to plan those. If you want to understand the like what our favorite places to travel has been, so we've been to many locations. In terms of traveling to and visiting, we've enjoyed
Saint Martin.
Saint Martin was enjoyed. We loved it. We love Antigua.
Mexico and Dominican as well.
Mexico and Dominican were fun. We enjoy Cuba, but right now we wouldn't go to Cuba right now just because of the political climate.
I'll be honest with you, it's scary to travel anywhere right now.
That's
right?
why we're doing Canadian stuff.
I'm not saying everybody should be afraid. There's people
No.
that are still traveling. So
No.
if you're not afraid of it, don't. And feel like please continue. And we still want to travel ourselves. But
and now it comes for cruises. For cruises, a lot of the times we would book our cruises on board. Now, the last time we didn't, because we're not sure where next time we're on a cruise right now. We're kind of taking a little break, and we might make it a group cruise next time. So that's why we're waiting to see if that's going to be the next trip that we do. Is going to be a cruise maybe. So that's another thing that we're thinking about as well. So for cruises for us, we would tend to book on the cruise ship itself. So if you're on a cruise already and they offer you deals on the ship, take them.
Sometimes you get better deals.
You get better deals on board most of the time.
And it's usually not on the price of the cruise, but on the amenities,
the add-ons,
like the tips or the drink packages and things like that.
And if you're really savvy as well,
room credits.
If you're really savvy as well, you keep watching prices and if I remember correctly, they will match the price if you find a lower price later. And sometimes for certain companies, so that's another option where on the ship you book what you can get, and then you get all the extras added on, so that you get all the tips, the drink packages, the Wi-Fi included
at a discount.
No, usually we got it. Ours was free.
Yeah.
Ours was thrown on because we booked on board, so you get that added on for free. And then when you leave the ship and you're finally you look online on Black Friday and the same trip is cheaper, then you can say, okay, I want the cheaper price. I want to change room and I want this price, and they'll do that for you.
And another trick that we've been told as well is if you book online, you can then have your reservation transferred to your own
travel agent.
And then they can also help you with, making it an even better experience.
If everybody would ask us, what's your favorite travel type? Actually, there's another travel type that we do, which is local fun places to go visit. So, for example, our glamping trip that we've done in the past in Goderich in Ontario. So all of you in your areas, I'm telling you right now, go to glampinghub.com. GLAMPING hub.com.
And this is US and Canada.
US and Canada. Both. This website shows you in your area where are glamping locations in your area. So when we looked ours up, ours was on a private land. So these people have a huge lot of land in Goderich. They had a creek that ran through it. So on the creek itself, they have 5 different campsites. The one we stayed on was called Paradise Island, and it was literally in the middle of the creek with water flowing around us. It was an island, and we had a compostable toilet. We had an outdoor shower. We had a king-size bed. We had a fireplace with firewood and kindling and matches and everything to start the fire. We had 2 coolers. We had ice. They gave us bottles of water. We had barbecues with propane. They give you everything. So you really just the grocery store for this place was 15 minutes away. So you could literally just drive in, hey, what do you want for dinner? Okay, let's go to the store and grab it and come back, and you're good. You don't have to actually prepare like a regular camping trip,
or at least have a DD drive you to the store and back.
Yeah. That's what we did. We drove in. We went to the store in the day when we were not drinking yet, and then we came back and started drinking. But every single one of you could find some of those types of camping type things in your own areas. You don't have to come to the one we did. Look in your own area. That's another fun way to do something that's a little. They can be pretty expensive, but it's a unique experience that you're not going to get doing anything else. And of course, camping's another good way of doing stuff. If you love the outdoors, we'll tell you our story. So we used to camp with a tent and a futon mattress, and we enjoyed camping back then, but we don't like sleeping on the ground anymore. And so now we glamp exclusively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we also started working with Rustic Mama, which is camping.
Yeah, which is camping for us.
Camping on a bed.
Yeah, on a bed with
washrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope these tips and tricks will give you guys some ideas how to plan your vacation. Remember, vacations is like savings. It's like training for your careers. It's like everything else. You have to plan them if you want them to be efficient. If your vacation plan is I'm just relaxing, then we have those too, where I don't plan at all. We just fly somewhere, we just sit on our butts the whole time. We do those too.
And there's nothing wrong to being a person that just says, I honestly wish one day we could just say, let's drive to the airport and let's just jump on a plane and go somewhere. We know we're not that type of people though. But if you are, just do it. If you've never done something like that and you said you've always wanted to do it, do it. You know what? Why not experience it? Why not? Don't do it. I would say do it with somebody else. Do it with some person. But I would love for us to be able to do that. And I know that's not who we are.
No.
We need to research first. We need to be prepared.
Yeah, and that's just the way we are, and that's the way I am. My anxiety does not allow me to just go on a trip without knowing where I'm going in some way, shape, or form, and that's just
security in other ways too.
It's a security thing for me.
Yep.
So I hope that this gave you guys some good information. We're gonna end the live feeds, and we're gonna stay in Zoom to give you guys the word of the night for an entry into our summer contest. We had so many people tonight.
I know, it's fantastic. Bye, everybody in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. TikTok. I hope you all have a great evening, and we will see you guys
tomorrow morning.